not the biggest supporter of barring, entire religions from coming here. It's kind of
very vague and very like.
The reason I do understand though, I mean, I get why people want it and whatnot. I do feel as if, sure, we can, it's a temporary ban. That's the big issue. That's the big part of it. Like, that's the biggest part of it is it's temporary, and sure, maybe we can do that, get back on our feet at least in the terms of like national security and whatnot, I'm not completely opposed to it, but I'm not the biggest supporter of it either, I don't really have much to say on the Muslim ban.
Also, I think the fact that we're calling it a Muslim ban is the real issue that we should be talking about right now. Because what Donald Trump did is he effected a ban that basically was a signal to his base, to a certain portion of our society that would really love to see a Muslim ban if that's actually what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he's not actually doing that. He's just doing it, he's doing whatever he's doing under the guise of basically being bigoted towards Muslim people.
Which his base loves, which the South and the Bible absolutely loves.
Right. I wouldn't say, his
it is
base.
a very cynical.
I would say part of his base for sure. I'm not,
Not all of his base.
We could argue
Yeah.
whatever percentage, but it's certainly 20% or above. I would be very comfortable in saying. Of his base.
Yeah,
Not
that's
of
a large
America,
percentage.
of his base.
Yeah, maybe that same chunk that had a lot of bad things to say about Obama, that questions Obama's citizenship initially, and yeah.
If it was a temporary ban and even not building a wall, but just having stricter immigration laws, and if it was to purposely and I guess effectively help the economy of America, it's substantially, let's say if he's just doing this, I know he's not, but let's say he's doing this ban and doing all these bans to hopefully let's get everyone in America right first, and then this temporary ban will be off. Let's say that was the idea of what he was trying to do, even if it's not the idea, but let's say if it's trickles down and it becomes an idea and it becomes something that happens because of this ban, I would be all for that as far as temporary, depending on the length of time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But it's just, I don't know his agenda and I don't know what he's doing it for. So, but if that was to happen, then I'd be for that, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah. So.
Do we both agree with that? Justin, how do you feel about it? Jake, how do you feel about that?
I mean, that's the point. I said that. That's
Okay.
what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
So I agree with that, obviously.
Jake, how do you feel about that?
In terms of narrowly defined limits on immigration?
Is that what you meant, Roslyn?
No, he was just talking about the Muslim ban, being a temporary ban, giving us time to, get settled in, in national security wise, make sure that we have our immigration policy in order, our background checks and whatnot, make sure that all of our guidelines for immigration are set before letting in people that, may or may not have the best interests of the United States in mind.
I guess I'm okay with that as a goal. I just don't see what's being...
What's being done to be...
Yeah, what's happening right now is not
I know, I'm just...
accomplishing that. But I would agree with the sentiment.
The theory and just the idea of that, just
Right.
looking at it from a different point of view.
So the whole, the wall obviously, the wall obviously is not necessary. Though
Okay.
it's not necessary. I'm not, the build the wall. I'm not. There really isn't too much of a point of it, but I do feel as if we should have closed borders. We shouldn't have open borders. I'm completely against the Obama era open border policy. That's not, I feel as if we should, you're looking at me.
The same Obama that had the most deportations of any president of the United States ever?
That's the thing.
Including
Is that
Dwight
real? Is that a fact?
Eisenhower, who enacted the Operation Wetback program. So
Obama's
got him beat.
He may have them beat in deportations, and that's not because of Obama. What I'm saying is, it's not Obama saying, oh, okay, rounding those people up and deporting them was not Obama's job. You know what I'm saying?
But he certainly could have stopped it if he wanted to.
I mean, how many times are you going to, the president's not going to look at every single little case and, and have the say in that.
But he does appoint the people that lead these organizations, and generally presidents appoint people to lead these organizations that align with their philosophical thought.
He also, so you're saying that Obama, what would you say Obama's policy for border control would be? He definitely was trying to give us open borders.
You think that Obama was actually trying to give us open borders?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's actually, yeah, let's get into that.
Sure.
Okay. I would mainly disagree by saying that if Obama did anything, he decreased immigration by his, if he wasn't the spearhead of the deportation force, he at least co-signed it by being the tacit supporter, head-in-chief, not displacing the people that were head of these organizations. He at least was responsible for the deportation of millions of Mexican people out of the United States. So I don't see how that aligns with an open borders policy.
What was that statistic again?
So just so that is cleared up, Obama had about 1 million more deportations in his presidential career than Dwight D. Eisenhower did. So
was it the most of all time?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, continue, Jake.
I don't think that deporting the most Mexicans out of the United States, that doesn't align with a open borders policy.
Yeah. I just, the whole DACA thing and whatnot, I feel as if as Obama's main goal, or not main goal, but obviously I feel as if he's a supporter for as much immigration as possible. And I do not feel like the United States is I don't feel that the United States is in the position to accept all these people and all these refugees and give them all the benefits that they receive, all of these services that they receive. We're not in the position to do that. And until we are in the position to do that, I feel as if, a more restricted border would be the best policy.
Okay, I would counter that with saying that the United States, with an aging population, as we do, we have the baby boomers coming into retirement. We need young drivers of the economy, we need young workers, and if that's not coming from the American people, we can import that through the visas that we give to high-level immigrants. Immigration has always been a driver of our economic success.
Oh,
we should
absolutely.
be bringing in people from all over, as long as they agree with the values of the United States, and if they can contribute economically, and even in some cases when they can't contribute economically, and even in some cases specifically because they cannot contribute economically, we should accept those people in, because that's America. That's what we've always stood for. It's what's inscribed on the Statue of Liberty. That is America.
I agree. I agree with part of that. I do not agree with the, letting in as many people as possible, the letting in whoever because this is America, Back when we had that, that was our driving force, this country was still getting onto its feet. And
When did the United States land on its feet? Because that's a good, at least, if you're going to say that it was once on its feet, we should define when it was on its feet.
1907.
Yeah,
Did I get
it's
it?
hard to pinpoint.
Did I get it?
I mean, in just an era. I mean, when you think that.
yeah, I'm not talking specifics, right? Like with that, but
I'd probably say what, in the 80s, 90s?
I have no idea.
well, what do you?
After the Great Depression?
1800s or what? Are you
No,
talking about?
I would say that America was, well, we could say on its
Well off.
feet pre-19th century, certainly, and we could say that America was a superpower following World War I.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I
that's
would-
1917, 1918.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh, I was thinking recently.
No, definitely.
Oh, it was only 10 years off.
So
I mean,
Once again.
at the very.
But I was gonna ask you, do you agree with the fact that we are not in a position, which Justin is trying to say, we are not in a position economically to let in all these immigrations today because we have so many problems dealing with,
our own people.
yeah, just everything that's happening in today. And you even said it yourself that, you know, you wanted to tax the rich to help out the poor. But if we're focused on, you know, letting other people in to accept all these great stuff
Refugees.
that America is giving, isn't that spreading, I guess, the butter too thin?
No, I would argue against that and saying that.
Do you think it would help our economy if we bring
And this will be the closing
Right.
argument on this point. So go ahead.
Because I think if you bring in a certain portion of the immigrants, as long as they are economically stable and they're actually coming in to buy businesses, to start businesses, as long as we aren't solely bringing in the downtrodden,
But that's-
it should be okay.
But that's I guess is the flaw in that theory is we don't know who's coming in, and we don't know what they're.
Well,
gonna
you
do.
can vet the people that come in. You can you can set certain standards. Am I right on that?
Well, you can't determine who's coming across illegally. Is that what you're saying?
Both.
Well, you can determine who's coming across illegally or legally because.
But what I'm saying is like if someone comes in and let's say they just work a regular 9 to 5 and they're not helping the economy that much at all, but they're receiving, let's say, Obamacare and all these other benefits,
Mhm.
is that helping the economy?
I would say, no. An individual in that state in their life at that particular time is certainly not helping the economy. But what you do is you try to give people at the bottom end of the spectrum an opportunity, a chance. And I say if you give enough of those people a chance, the negatives are going to the positives are going to outweigh the negatives, bar none.
I just have so. I feel to you know round this up. I feel as if we need to have we need to go deeper into vetting these immigrants before they come. You know, before we open up our borders completely or whatnot. You know, whatever people want to do. The bottom line is these people that are coming in need to be vetted extremely carefully. I don't think we should be accepting. We are not in a position to be accepting the refugees, the amount of refugees and whatnot that we are.
Do you know how many refugees we're accepting?